is the Radio Realtors.
I sold the house.
This is a home. This is a place to live. This is a place to live.
Northern California's longest running show on real estate.
Real estate is not just buying and selling houses.
What are you, some kind of real estate agent? Real estate agent?
I love real estate.
Ever since I laid eyes on that house, I wanted it.
The Radio Realtors.
I love every second.
Now, here's your host, Robert Lewis and Frank Crandall.
Let's go and sell some homes.
All right, welcome to the Radio Realtors. We are Northern California's #1 real estate radio show, proudly coming to you live from the Equity Protect studios. And you know, we've been talking about it a lot, but title fraud and home theft and just house stealing is on the rise all across the country. And you're especially susceptible to it if you own your home free and clear or you have a lot of equity. And if you do, you want to be protected. And there's only one company that stops and prevents that from happening to you at all, and that is Equity Protect. There's a lot of companies out there that will monitor your title, but they don't tell you anything happened until it happened already. So you want to go to Equity Protect because they physically stop the scammers in their tracks. Go to equityprotect.com. That's equityprotect.com and get your free risk assessment. My name is Robert Lewis, your real estate professor.
And I'm Frank Crandall, your consigliere of real estate.
And if you got a question for us or a comment, or you're just saying, hey, you know what? I want you to help us buy a house or help us sell a house, and you want to talk to us, well, then all you got to do is give us a call at 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO.
Or you can live chat with us 24/7 on our website at radiorealtors.com. That's radiorealtors.com.
And we've got a pretty awesome show for you today. Let's talk about the topics, Frank.
Yeah, number one, how to stop squatters before it's too late.
Yeah, that's going to be an impressive
That's a very hot topic right now.
Very, very hot all across the nation.
Yep.
We're also going to do an interview with Viktor Romaso. He is the owner of Livin Clean Bins.
Livin.
Yeah.
Also an interview with Brent Forman from Affordable Trenchless and Pipe Cleaning.
Yeah, and you know what? That is going to be a great interview because Brent is one of the most honest guys I've ever talked to that works in that industry. He has some great stories, and he's my guy.
Yeah, he came referred from a good friend of ours.
Yeah. So once again, if you want to get a hold of us, Rob and Frank here at the Radio Realtors, all you got to do is pick up your phone. 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO.
Or you can use our live chat option 24/7 at our website, radiorealtors.com. That's radiorealtors.com.
And Frank, squatting is on the rise. That just sounds weird to say. That's our headline, right? But across the country, homeowners have returned to their vacant properties only to discover that squatters have broken in, made themselves comfortable, and they're basically refusing to leave.
Even worse, little can be done to get them out.
Right, Frank. And according to KXTV, Channel 10 here, a couple of Sacramento County homeowners, they fell prey to a pair of serial squatters who left their property in a state of disrepair after months of living there rent-free. And these mom-and-pop landlords rented their Fair Oaks home to this couple who seemed like, they said, wonderful people, and I'm using air italics here, or air quotes, and they provided all the required documents, including a credit report and a 401k statement.
That's right, Rob. And these homeowners handed over the keys to these seemingly wonderful people in August 2022, and the problems began almost immediately.
Yep, and from September to December, the tenants were late paying their rent due to 2 alleged deaths and a serious illness in their family, and then they stopped paying altogether right before Christmas.
And Rob, the real homeowners were stuck paying the mortgage on their investment property out of their own pockets.
Yeah, Frank, it's unfortunate, but there are criminals out there that are professional deadbeat tenants who have learned to use the system, and they don't see the landlords as the victim.
And Rob, upon further investigation, it was discovered that this squatting couple had squatted in at least 8 houses in Sacramento County alone, some just blocks from each other before targeting that house.
And there was a former victim also, let's call her victim number 2, Frank, who told us that they used the same deaths in the family excuses to live rent-free on her property for months.
And victim number 2 reflected on the time and money she had to spend to evict them. She said she just incurred so many financial issues and that the situation was really hard.
Yeah, and I think really just saying it was really hard is probably an understatement. But Frank, get this, 9 months after the tenants from hell moved into the real homeowner's home, they were finally evicted, leaving the property and the backyard a total mess. And in total, the couple had lost $15,000 in rent plus damages, and they decided to sell the property to cover their losses.
And Rob, homeowners who attempt to take the law into their own hands often find that these attempts backfire.
Right, Frank. And this was the case with a man in the Bay Area who, after finding that his childhood home was occupied by squatters, he changed the locks, and police ended up arresting him while his squatters got to remain in the property.
Sometimes confrontations between homeowners and squatters can turn violent or even deadly.
Yeah, Frank. In March of last year, a 52-year-old woman entered her family's New York apartment only to find it occupied by 2 teen squatters. And this is terrible, but they allegedly killed her, stuffed her into a duffel bag in the closet, where she was later discovered by her son.
Yeah, that is seriously tragic story, Rob.
Yeah, it is, Frank. And the question that a lot of people are asking us is why is squatting on the rise?
Well, Rob, squatting surged during the pandemic when many states eased their housing regulations and allowed renters to remain in their homes even if they couldn't make their monthly payments.
Right. And during the same period, the housing market exploded, rents shot up, home prices rose to all-time highs, and inflation skyrocketed, leaving many unable to pay for housing.
And Rob, some people are chalking it down to economic stress.
However, Frank, with unemployment at or near 50-year lows and help wanted signs in almost every storefront, it's kind of hard to understand that economic stress thing, I think.
Yeah, yet there are people with low education, no skills, mental health, and physical health challenges who cannot afford a place to live.
And Frank, COVID-era eviction bans, they kind of protected some of these people.
Oh, they sure did.
And then they became accustomed to not having to pay for a place to live, right?
Yeah. Once trespassers make their way into a home, it's difficult to get rid of them due to strong tenant right laws. And in some cases, squatters' rights.
Yeah, and in California, for instance, squatters can't be evicted after just 30 days of living on the property. And these rights mean a property owner can't change the locks to the home to keep the squatter out. They can't turn off the utilities or dispose of the squatter's possessions in the home. Instead, the only recourse a homeowner has is to take the squatter to court and wage a costly legal battle.
So, Rob, I guess the next question is, what can a homeowner do with a vacant property, whether a vacation home or an empty house awaiting sale or rent, to deter squatters?
Yeah, Frank, I mean, the key to protecting yourself from squatters is preventing them from entering in the first place.
That's right, because once a squatter has possession of a home, it's currently more difficult to get them out than getting a delinquent tenant out.
You're right. So to prevent your home from becoming a squatter nightmare, we've got 5 strategies for preventing illegal inhabitants from taking over your property. Let's give them the first one, Frank.
Okay. The first strategy to stop squatters is level up your home security.
Exactly. Because if potential squatters can't get in your home, you don't have to worry about getting them out. So the first line of defense is make your property impenetrable.
Yep. This means fortifying all your entry points, including doors, windows, and other potential access areas.
Yeah, but you must think like a squatter that's hell-bent on taking over your home, and you want to invest in next-level locks.
Fortify all entry points, including doors, windows, and potential access areas, is essential.
Yeah, Frank, and we've even heard about squatters breaking open a lockbox, having a locksmith rekey the home, and then these people actually used a key they legitimately got out of a coded lockbox.
That's right. That's why we advise foregoing cheap locks and deadbolts, which can be opened in about 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, if you buy directly from a locksmith, you'll get higher grade locks that are hard to compromise.
And as for windows, you want to reinforce them with security bars or screw them shut. And once every entry point is locked down, you want to make sure you monitor your home with a video security system.
Yeah, Ring and Amazon's Alexa are popular, but if you desire stronger privacy and cybersecurity settings, there are other reliable brands like ADT, Simply Safe, and Vivint.
Yeah, and you can also add motion sensing lights or alarms and post no trespassing signs around your property so that you can reinforce your legal rights and discourage unauthorized entry. Now, we're going to get to the second strategy to stop squatters, but if you have questions about maybe you're a victim of squatters in your home, or maybe you want to say, hey, Rob and Frank, I want to sell my home. I don't want this to happen to me. What are some strategies that I can do to get top dollar but not make my home a victim to squatters if I'm, ready to move away? We have all that information for you, and we can give it to you. 833-32-RADIO is our number, 833-32-RADIO, or you can live chat with us at radiorealtors.com, and don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this. Hey, it's Robert Lewis with eXp Realty, co-host of the Radio Realtors. Did you know that it only takes a minute to steal your home? And Northern California is a hotbed for home title theft. You're especially vulnerable if you own your home free and clear, or you have thousands of dollars in equity. But you may be asking, how does this crime even occur? Well, it happens when a scammer steals your identity and the title to your home. And then they either take out loans on your home, or they actually sell your property right out from under you. And another problem is most title lock companies only notify you after the crime has happened. This doesn't do you any good at all. That's why I only recommend Equity Protect. Equity Protect scans, monitors, alerts, and completely locks down your home's title and hard-earned equity. And their USA-based experts protect you 24/7, 365 days a year for just pennies a day. Get your free risk assessment today. Go to equityprotect.com. That's equityprotect.com. Do you know what that sound is? That's your wake-up call. What do you need to wake up from? It's the nightmare of paying your landlord's mortgage. Think about this. If you're paying $2,500 a month for rent, you're paying $30,000 of your landlord's mortgage a year, and that should have you waking up in a cold sweat. Why not make a resolution today to buy your very own home? Jeff Compton with Guild Mortgage is ready to help you. The market has changed, and it's leaning towards being a buyer's market, and that means you could buy a home now, not overpay, or be in a bidding war, and maybe even get some of your closing costs paid for you. Jeff Compton with Guild Mortgage is a mortgage master, and he specializes in customizing a loan for your unique situation. Jeff even has down payment assistance loans and ideas to buy down your interest rate. Answer your wake-up call. Call Jeff Compton with Guild Mortgage at 916-765-2900 or apply online at jeffcompton.com, NMLS ID number 298997.
Thank you for calling Jeff Compton's office. It's a great day to buy a home. How can we help you?
This is the Radio Realtors.
I sold the house.
This is a home. This is a place to live. This is a place to live.
Northern California's longest running show on real estate.
Real estate is not just buying and selling houses.
What are you, some kind of real estate agent? Real estate agent?
I love real estate. Ever since I laid eyes on that house, I wanted it.
The Radio Realtors. I love every second.
Now, here's your host, Robert Lewis and Frank Crandall.
Let's go and sell some homes.
All right, welcome back to the Radio Realtors. We are Northern California's #1 real estate radio show, proudly coming to you live from the Equity Protect studios. And I tell you what, it's on the rise everywhere, not just squatting, but also home stealing and title theft. And if you own your home free and clear, or you own your home with a lot of equity, maybe you have like 80 or 90% equity, you need to protect that hard-earned equity. And the only way to do that for certain is Equity Protect, because they're a company that will lock down your title, and they're not just a monitoring service. They literally prevent it from happening to you. They're the only company of its kind, and the only one that we endorse, and that's Equity Protect. Go to their website, equityprotect.com. That's equityprotect.com, and ask for your free risk assessment, and they'll let you know, honestly, where you stand. So equityprotect.com, that's equityprotect.com. My name is Robert Lewis, your real estate professor.
And I'm Frank Crandall, your consigliere of real estate.
And we've been talking about it in our first part of the show about squatting. And it just seems to, I hate the term squatters. It's just a terrible thing anyway. But we're talking about 5 strategies to stop squatters. And the first one we talked about is level up your home security.
Yeah.
You know, I don't understand it a lot these days that not everybody has an alarm system on their home. I mean, you should have that alarm system for sure, right? But then there's other things that you can do. You can get a Ring doorbell. You can, like we have ADT security, right?
That's right.
You know, and we have on our windows and everything else. And we take preventive measures from somebody breaking into our house. Now, does that mean it's going to stop it for sure? No, it doesn't. However, a lot of criminals don't want to meet a homeowner or break into a home that has security, right? They're looking for the easy target. The easy targets are going to be the ones that are vacant and they have no security in place.
Well, we're seeing all these videos now of TikTok of these brazen people just kicking in doors.
Right.
That is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, like the home invasions.
Yes.
Yeah, and so now, even if you have a security system, you can't necessarily stop that from happening to you.
But at least it'll give you a couple of seconds,
right,
to not just
get your firearm.
I wasn't going to say that, but yes.
Right. Yeah. Well, so what was the next strategy, Frank?
Okay. So the second strategy to stop squatters is make your home look like someone's living there.
What a brilliant idea. You know, squatters often target properties that appear vacant for an extended period of time. And to prevent this perception, you want to create the illusion that someone is currently living in a vacant property.
Make the home look occupied with a car in the driveway and lights on timers that go on and off regularly.
And we also suggest adding security signs, one that says the property is patrolled for security. Like, let's say you have ADT or Vivint, or simply say if you've got a sign that says that is basically telling people that you have security. And then one that reads, beware of dog. You know what? That one scares me. I don't want to go into somebody's house if the chance that I might get eaten. And even if you don't employ a security company or you don't have a dog, these are good signs to have.
Yeah, and take steps like keeping a car in the driveway to maintain the appearance of occupancy.
Yeah, one client of ours got a device that when it detected motion outside, dogs would start loudly barking, and we mean loudly barking. In fact, we even had an agent call to say she was afraid to go inside because of the virtual dogs.
That's right.
Yeah.
So making your home look lived in will help you discourage potential squatters from attempting to take over.
Yeah, Frank. Now, the third strategy to stop squatters is regularly stop by your home.
Yeah, Rob, keeping a virtual eye on your property is great, but seeing your property with your own eyes is crucial for detecting any unauthorized activity or signs of squatting early.
Yeah, right, Frank. And regular property inspections can help identify any signs of unauthorized occupancy early on. And if you live too far away for timely check-ins, you should establish a network of trusted neighbors or nearby friends who can maybe report any suspicious behavior or potential squatters on your property.
And Rob, by staying vigilant and initiative taking in monitoring your property, you can intervene promptly if squatters attempt to encroach.
Yeah, of course, Frank. Now, the fourth strategy to stop squatters is take legal action ASAP.
Oh boy, here we go, Rob. You want to establish legal property ownership to assert your rights and deter squatters. And if you've inherited a home, ensure that all necessary paperwork, including deeds and property titles, is current and reflects your ownership.
And Frank, if your property is part of a homeowners association or governed by specific regulations, stay informed about any requirements or procedures related to property ownership.
Also keep in mind, despite your best efforts, there's always a possibility that squatters might attempt to take over your property.
And if they do, Frank, it's essential to take immediate legal action to reclaim possession of your property and prevent further trespassing or even damage.
And contact your law enforcement to report the squatting activity and ask for their help ousting the squatters.
And Frank, you know, people need to know, they need to note that police usually can't remove squatters. So you'll have to call your local sheriff instead. And if the squatters refuse to leave, consult a qualified attorney specializing in property law to understand your rights and legal options for eviction proceedings.
And Rob, to support your case in court, document all evidence of squatting and property damage, including photographs, witness statements from neighbors, and any communication with the squatters.
Absolutely, Frank. Now, the fifth strategy to stop squatters is don't go the vigilante route.
If you find someone on your property who won't leave, don't take matters into your own hands.
Yeah, you want to do, I know that, I mean, that would be my first thought. I mean, I know that that's not good, but we've dealt.
I'm your Huckleberry.
Yeah, we've dealt with several squatters in our career. One that came to mind was a couple in Roseville who actually brought 3 boarders into their home during the pandemic. And once California's Tenant Relief Act went into place, all the boarders just stopped paying rent.
Yeah, that was a tough one because this couple brought the boarders in because they needed the money to help pay their mortgage.
Yeah, and the sellers wanted to bring in a mercenary to help them scare the boarders to get them out of the home. And while we were able to avoid that situation and help the homeowners to reclaim their home, we feel that the mercenary route is physically dangerous and it opens the homeowners to possible legal consequences.
Yeah. Even worse, Rob, is you using force yourself. If you come home and find squatters in your home, then the first step is to call the police.
And when the police arrive, they will either remove the squatter or the squatter may provide some evidence of residency, such as maybe a water bill in their name. And if that's the case, then it becomes a civil issue there. And because residency is a question.
And Rob, this is a terrible situation. However, it's how it is at this time. If you attempt to remove them by force, one or two things will happen. Number one, the squatters can legally defend themselves with lethal force if necessary.
And number two, Frank, unfortunately, you will be the aggressor in the conflict. And no matter how stupid it is, the police will be forced to arrest you.
That's right, Rob. There is no upside to a physical confrontation with the squatters.
Yeah, in fact, a lot of times they welcome physical attacks on them because it justifies a civil restraining order against you, which makes your life much harder. And the law definitely needs to be clearer on this issue. But unfortunately, for now, like you said, it's a civil issue and it must be resolved in court.
So here's the wrap up. So if you're dealing with squatters in California and you would really like to sell your home, there are a few ways to tackle the issue. For one, you could sell your home to us for cash with the Radio Realtors Easy Cash Home Buyer Program.
Yeah, Frank, that's the quickest and easiest way because with our Easy Cash Home Buyer Program, you could close fast and walk away with all the cash, and you don't have to worry about the squatters. Our cash buyers will pay to have the squatters legally removed.
But Rob, what do people do who don't know about our Easy Cash Buyer Program?
Well, Frank, let's take a look here. So some might try cutting the squatters a deal and paying them off to get them to leave. And they could also offer to officially rent their property to the squatter and have the rental agreement transferred in the sale.
And Rob, if officially renting works and the squatters agree to it, it's at least an option that can help diffuse potential claims of adverse possession.
Yeah, and Frank, if all else fails, know that evicting squatters in California is possible. You just got to be sure to follow the rules and go through established regulations when you do it.
And Rob, here's the deal. Some people may squat with malicious intent, but others just may be down on their luck. Our aim is to direct resources to help them get back on their feet.
And for you folks that own homes and have squatters making your life difficult, why not give us a call right now so we can go over your options?
And even if you don't have squatters but need to sell your home, you can get a no-cost CMA comparative market analysis from us, the Radio Realtors.
Yep, and in most cases, Frank, we can do this in just a few minutes over the phone, and we can tell you what your home would sell for in this market.
Give us a call right now at 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO.
Or you can live chat with us anytime at RadioRealtors.com. That's RadioRealtors.com.
And don't go anywhere because we'll be back right after this.
Hey there, Robert Lewis here with the Radio Realtors, and I'm excited to offer you another unique home sale option. We call it the Easy Cash Offer Home Sale, and this is a great option if you have a home that's a heavy fixer or has serious deferred maintenance. Or maybe you have a rental property that you've owned for years and the tenants have made it a headache for you. The Easy Cash Offer Home Sale is even a wonderful option for you if you've inherited a home that maybe has a lot of needed repairs and you just don't have the time, energy, or money to take care of it on your own. Call the Radio Realtors today at 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO. We'll come out to your home for a quick as-is value, and in many cases, we can offer you a competitive cash offer on the spot and close in as little as 14 days. The Radio Realtors Easy Cash Offer Home Sale. Get your cash offer today at 833-32-RADIO or online at theradiorealtors.com. That's theradiorealtors.com.
Okay, honey, I've completed our spring cleaning list. Wash the windows.
Check.
Clean the gutters.
Check.
Wipe down the patio furniture.
Check.
Now, time for some rest and relaxation.
What about cleaning the trash bin?
Oops, I missed that one.
Well, it's got to be done.
But they look and they smell disgusting.
Yeah, I agree. You know, I heard on the radio about a local family-owned company called Livin Clean Bins.
Oh, wow. Let me Google them. Yep, here they are. Livin Clean Bins. It says they use a combination of hot water and high pressure to clean the bins, and they sanitize, deodorize, and disinfect them, leaving them smelling fresh and clean.
That sounds amazing.
Wow, Livin Clean Bins also has great reviews, and their service is really affordable. So, babe, can I book them so I can finish our spring cleaning list?
Of course, honey.
Awesome.
Spring cleaning alert. Enjoy 50% off your first cleaning with promo code SPRING2024. Limited time only. Discount available on all recurring plans. Book your cleaning now at BenLovinCleanBins.com.
Hi, this is Brandon Tatum, host of The Officer Tatum Show. As a former police officer, I know the importance of trusting the people that you work with. And that's why if you're planning on selling your home in Northern California, you want realtors who got your back. Call my friends Rob Lewis and Frank Crandall from the Radio Realtors and eXp Realty. Check this out. Kat and Carl had to sell their home in Roseville and move to Ohio for work. They needed their home sold quickly to buy their next home. And because Rob and Frank spend thousands of dollars on marketing each month, they have a pool of buyers that are ready to buy. Rob and Frank sold Kat and Carl's home in Roseville for $20,000 over list price. Plus, they referred them to an agent in Ohio through their nationwide network of realtors and helped them get a great deal on a home there too. Don't wait. Sell your home today for top dollar. Call Rob and Frank, the Radio Realtors with eXp Realty at 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO. Online at radiorealtors.com. DRE number 0140-6275.
This is the Radio Realtors.
I sold a house.
This is a home. This is a place to live. This is a place to live.
Northern California's longest running show on real estate.
Real estate is not just buying and selling houses.
What are you, some kind of real estate agent? Real estate agent?
I love real estate. Ever since I laid eyes on that house, I wanted it.
The Radio Realtors. I love every second.
Now, here's your host, Robert Lewis and Frank Crandall.
Let's go and sell some homes.
All right, welcome back to the Radio Realtors. We're Northern California's #1 real estate radio show, proudly coming to you live from the Zero Res Carpet Cleaning Studios. And right now, Zero Res has an amazing offer, but it's very limited amount of time left for you to do this because that spring rush is coming. 3 rooms of carpet cleaned, starting at $129 plus a free hallway cleaning. Get it done now. Give them a call, 916-246-2448. Tell them you want that Radio Realtors special, or you can book online at ZeroResSacramento.com. My name is Robert Lewis, your real estate professor.
And I'm Frank Crandall, your consigliere of real estate.
And in the studio today, we have a very special guest. His name is Viktor Romaso, and he is the owner of Livin Clean Bins. And Vic's company cleans, disinfects, and sanitizes your garbage bins.
A man after my own heart.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Vic, thanks for being on the Radio Realtors today.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so Victor, this is a unique business. It's pretty cool. So what inspired you to open up this great business, Livin Clean Bins?
First, I would just like to say thank God for his mercy and for his help on opening the business for me. And I would like to thank you, Robert, for having me over and bringing awareness to the communities that there is a business that does professional trash bin cleaning.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so what inspired you to get this going?
Well, about 3 years ago, at my residence of property at home, I noticed that our trash bin was beginning to smell. And when my wife was throwing out our trash, she mentioned like, "Hey, babe, go take a look. It's smelling pretty bad." With my busy schedule of work and kids and life, I kept putting it off. And eventually, when I came out there and took a look, I saw ants. And then I'm thinking, okay, maybe tomorrow. I came out the next couple days later. I noticed that there was maggots and everything else. It looked like it was a party in my bin, and every creepy crawler was invited.
Oh, my goodness. So it was kind of out of necessity because it was basically a honeydew thing, right?
Yes.
Your wife said, "Hey, Vic, we got to do something with this garbage bin." And then, so that inspired you to go, hey, maybe other people have the same issue?
Well, I didn't know about that there is a service like this. So I ended up doing it myself. It was an unpleasant and very time-consuming job to do. But then that same summer, we did have a family trip that we had planned, which was in Florida. We stayed at the Airbnb, one of the homes over there. And one morning I heard some sounds and I'm like, oh, somebody's pressure washing or doing something. So I came outside to take a quick look. I saw one of those trucks pull up. I called my wife. I'm like, hey, babe, look, there is a company that actually cleans trash bins. So we kind of stared at it, looked at the process, and the whole rest of our vacation, we just talked about how cool it was. And the thought was, coming back home here to California, Sacramento, was like, how come we don't have a service like this? Wouldn't it be something that the community here would want the type of service instead of doing it themselves? So that's kind of like how we started with this whole idea of cleaning trash bins.
Yeah, I mean, I've never heard of it before, but so you have a secret formula that deodorizes the bins and eliminates bad odors. Let's face it, I mean, I think we've all had where we go out to our garbage can and go, what did we throw away? It smells like something died in our bins, or it's got pet waste. I mean, there's so many things. And it says on your flyer here, it says that you kill 99% of the germs, flies, insects, and maggots, and you eliminate bacteria, mold, and mildew.
Yes.
And then you have your truck comes out, it puts the bin up there, and then how does it sanitize? Is it hot water, or how does it work?
The trick is 200 plus degree hot water at high temperature of about 3000 psi with our rotating heads. Your bins get flipped upside down in the back of the truck, kind of like the grabbers that grab your trash bins on a regular basis by Waste Management when it gets dumped. And all the toxins and everything that you have in your bin gets knocked off about 15-20 seconds on the truck, and everything gets collected, which we dispose later, leaving your street and your roadways clear of any toxins or smell or residue or anything that comes off of your bin. It's an environmentally friendly solution of doing things. You could do it yourself, but there is rules and regulations for the storm drainage. If you're having the runoffs going into the storm drainage, which is only for the runoff for rainwater, you could get fined and cited. And so we are EPA friendly way of doing things. Everything gets collected, of which we, at the end of the day, do like a dump run. We're kind of like an RV dump that, for those of you that have RVs, kind of like your gray and your black tanks, and everything gets disposed into the treatment plant where everything is filtered and processed by federal guidelines.
Yeah, that's amazing, because people sometimes, if they're doing it on their own, there's a chance that you could have bacteria and harmful things going into the storm drains.
Yes, because eventually everything goes into the creeks, canals, rivers, and into the ocean. So California is actually good in protecting the environment, fish, and any other living creatures that might drink the water or be in the water.
Absolutely. Now, so I know our listeners are probably wondering, what does this cost for your service?
Usually the first bin is the expensive one, and I do have 5 different plans. And me and my wife, Mila, when we wanted to open this business, we wanted to provide quality service with affordable price. That's why we have 5 different plans. Each plan basically is based on your needs and your affordability. You can pick. For example, our monthly plan, which is one cleaning done once a month, it starts at $50 for the first bin and then $10 for each additional one. And then the other one, if you don't want to have a reoccurrent payments or anything else, you just want to order at your time when you want to order it. We call it a one-time.
Mm-hmm.
And that one starts $70 for the first bin and then $15 for each additional. And usually the reason that the one-times are a little bit more expensive because some of these bins, they're like 10, 15, up to 20 years old that we sometimes service that have never been washed. So it does take a little bit more water, more time, more effort, and detergents and elbow grease sometimes.
Right.
Just to get them done. Yeah, and I also want to mention that our truck is fully sustained. We bring our own water. All we need is just your bin. We bring our own water. We collect the water. We do the dump run at the end of the day. And our truck also uses up to 20 to 25% less water than you would do it yourself. So it also helps with all the water shortages or crises that in California that we have.
Yeah, we have been in a drought, it seems like, for the last 100 years. So if our listeners are interested in checking out your website, what is the website?
It's binlovincleanbins.com, or you could also find us on Google by searching Bin Lovin' Clean Bins or Trash Bin Cleaning near me. And I also wanted to mention something as well, that we do offer like HOA and neighborhood discounts. So if you want to be the one that wants to take a lead in your neighborhood, if you get some of your neighbors involved, the more neighbors that participate and want their trash bins cleaned, the better discount we can give to everyone. Thing is, it's just getting the truck with the gas mileage to the location is what really a lot of cost. The time to pay the driver to get there, and then just the gas of getting to the spot.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a cool setup that you guys have. So it's binlovincleanbins.com. That's binlovincleanbins.com. That's BIN Lovin, LOVIN, cleanbins.com. You can also call them at 916-616-1880, and you can schedule service there. But go on their website. I mean, there's so much good information, because I did not realize how much bacteria, mold, mildew, everything else in there, so you definitely want to make sure that those things are clean. And now you got somebody that can do it. So, Victor, you said that you're going to give away a free cleaning to one of our customers. So how does that work?
Basically, we'll give away one free clean up to 2 bins.
Yeah. So basically what we're saying is that go ahead and text us at 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO. Text us your name and where you live, and then we will go ahead and select somebody for that, and you'll get 2 free bins cleaned from Livin Clean Bins. They'll come out and clean 2 of your garbage bins for the first time for free. So I think it's a great business, Victor. I love your heart for this. I think that you guys need to support this company. It is a great company. Livin Clean Bins. Get your garbage bins cleaned, and I'm talking sanitized with 200-degree hot water, and they basically do a high-pressure, total rotational rinse of your bins, and they will look as close to new as possible. They're going to be that clean.
Yeah, I had some comments from a couple of customers who are like, can you come clean my house next?
Yeah, but you put the whole house in your truck, right? Yeah, no, that would be awesome. Well, anyway, go to binlevincleanbins.com. That's binlevincleanbins.com, or give them a call at 916-616-1880. And it looks like we are getting some texts in on our line, but if you'd like to win 1 free cleaning of 2 bins, go ahead and text us at 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO. And Victor, hey, thanks for being on the Radio Realtors today. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Robert.
All right, we'll be back right after this. If you've been thinking about buying a home, you know it's a tough housing market right now, but I've got wonderful news. There's a new home community that's a reasonable drive from Lincoln, Roseville, North Natomas, and downtown Sacramento, offering brand new 3-bedroom and 4-bedroom homes with solar in the low $400,000 range. And they even have 5-bedroom homes in the low $500,000 range. These homes are beautiful with granite countertops, LVP flooring, spacious floor plans, and great amenities nearby. Find out more, call the Radio Realtors with eXp Realty right now at 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO. Schedule a private tour today, and if you decide to buy with us, we will save you thousands of dollars with special incentives. All buyers are welcome, FHA, VA, first-time buyers, and investors too, and you can reserve your home with just a small deposit. Call us now at 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO. DRE number 0140-6275. Robert Lewis here from the Radio Realtors, and I just love this time of year. Longer days, warmer weather, but it also means it's allergy season. Did you know that 1 in 5 Northern Californians suffer from allergies caused by particles frequently found inside of our homes? I mean, think about it. Dust, dander, pollen, and even bacteria living and breeding in your carpet, your upholstery, and other surfaces with nowhere to go. So what can you do about it? Call my friends at Zero Res. Right now, you can beat the spring cleaning rush with big savings and priority booking. And this month, get 3 rooms Zero Resified from Sacramento's #1 carpet cleaner, starting at just $139. You owe it to yourself and your family to breathe healthy, happy, and clean. Plus, Zero Res uses no harmful chemicals, leaves no residue, and your carpets will be dry within 1 to 2 hours. Call Zero Res right now at 916-245-2992 or book online at ZeroResSacramento.com. Spell it forward or backward, it spells the same, Zero Res.
This is the Radio Realtors.
I sold the house.
This is a home. This is a place to live. This is a place to live.
Northern California's longest running show on real estate.
Real estate is not just buying and selling houses.
What are you, some kind of real estate agent? Real estate agent?
I love real estate. Ever since I laid eyes on that house, I wanted it.
The Radio Realtors. I love every second.
Now, here's your host, Robert Lewis and Frank Crandall.
Let's go and sell some homes.
All right, welcome back to the Radio Realtors. We are Northern California's #1 real estate radio show, proudly coming to you live from the Equity Protect Studios. And title theft and fraud is a big deal right now in our entire country, and we're seeing it all over the place. And if you own your home free and clear, or maybe you just have a lot of equity, you need to protect that hard-earned equity. And the only way that we recommend to do that is by calling or getting a hold of our friends at Equity Protect. They have a patented process that they will literally stop scammers from scamming your property. Go to their website, equityprotect.com. My name is Robert Lewis, your real estate professor.
And I'm Frank Crandall, your consigliere of real estate.
And in the studio to finish up the show, we have Brent Forman, and he is with Affordable Trenchless and Pipelining. Brent, thanks for making it on the show. We were trying to do it last week, got you on this week.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
So, Brent, a lot of people, when you buy a house, you're looking at doing inspections. So you do a whole house inspection. You might do a pest inspection, which is a good idea. Maybe even a roof inspection. But not everybody does a sewer inspection, and that's what you guys do. Tell us a little bit about why you think that is and why that's a mistake.
Well, you're making the largest purchase of your life, and B, it's underground. You can't see underground, so it's always good to do a sewer inspection because you don't know what's under there.
Exactly. And I mean, just recently with one of my clients, they called you out, and what did we find when you did your inspection?
They had Orangeburg pipe, which was used during the war era. And what happens is it starts to collapse. It's basically cardboard with tar on it. They needed the metals during the war. So it's really common throughout Northern California, city of trees, old infrastructure.
Right.
And it will collapse on you or crush or deteriorate.
With this particular one, this one home was in Woodland, and it had the Orangeburg piping, and they had a couple people come out, but you were one of them. When you have that type of thing, is it something that you absolutely have to replace, or is it just a matter of time if it's not collapsed?
It's more of a matter of time. You will need to replace it, but the problem with it is it's so brittle. If you just have one bad section, you can't really clamp to it. So it makes it difficult if there's any bad sections of it.
Right.
So once it starts to collapse, if tree roots get into it, you have to replace it at that point. But if it's intact, eventually you'll need to replace it right then and there. Probably not, but it's a matter of time before you will.
Yeah, and I kind of look at this, there's some certain health and safety, things, and like you have to make sure the roof is in good shape. You don't want to have your home leaking. You have to make sure that you have a good HVAC system, that is a healthy thing in your home. Probably, your windows, you need to make sure that those types of things. But one of the most important things is your plumbing and your sewer line. And it doesn't seem like everybody is super worried about that. And I guess maybe it's out of sight, out of mind.
That's exactly what it is. So because you can't see it, that's the hard part. You don't know what's there, and you don't know what's causing an issue if an issue occurs.
And one of the things I really like about you and your company, Affordable Trenchless and Pipelining, is that you guys are super honest. I mean, you came out as a secondary bid for this particular home, and I knew that whatever you said was going to be true. And then you didn't really know all the details of the first one, but you guys had similar findings. But as far as your procedure to fix it was a little bit different. Kind of tell us a little bit about how you guys do things differently than some of the other companies out there.
So when we inspect a sewer line, we always provide a report. We always provide a video showing everything about it. And if there are recommendations, we try to give people options. With that being said, Trenchless, you try to do as minimal of damage as possible. So you're trying to be less invasive. You're trying to repair or replace something without causing a lot of damage or, making it noticeable.
Right.
And so when we do that, or we do provide a report, we also know that in real estate, things are on timelines. So we try to act quick on them. You usually will get a report within 24 hours, and the video will be posted within 24 hours. That way, the buyer can see it, the seller can see it, all the agents can see it, and it's an open book.
Right. And then you guys I saw the video that you did of this particular home, and then you actually explained it to me, and to the buyer to show exactly what is going on, because it's sort of like looking inside of someone's, there's a video of someone's colon or whatever.
Yeah, it's a colonoscopy.
Yeah, it's like a colonoscopy for a house.
Correct.
Right. Yeah. And so I really like that, because, you're looking at these videos and we don't know, what we're seeing, and if there should be, anything in the line at all, or if it should be completely clear. How long does it usually take for you to do the sewer scoping and the inspection?
They vary based on the layout of the house. If there's a clean out, they're a lot faster. If we have to get on a roof, they take longer.
Okay.
Once we do the inspection, they'll get the report usually the same day. 99.9% of the time, it's always the same day. The following day, the video gets posted. But then if there's any questions on the report, whoever inspects it, their number will also be on the report so they can answer it and walk through it. The video, once they walk through it, once the video gets posted, it, as you noticed, it makes a lot more sense, and the report links to the video of what we saw.
Right. And it kind of feels like that, without seeing that video, you're just going by the, the word of the person that did the inspection. So if you have someone like yourself that truly explains that process, it is so much more easy than just taking the word of somebody, that it's sort of like taking your car to the,
exactly.
And we have a problem, but you don't know what it is. And they go, oh, you need a new engine. And you go, gosh, this car is only a year old. I thought it was just maybe I needed an oil change or some spark plugs replaced or whatever, but you didn't think you needed a whole new engine. So I think that sometimes people, when they hear that, it's sort of like a deal breaker if the sewer's bad, because they think it's going to be ultra expensive, and it's not cheap for sure. But the process that you guys do, explain the difference between trenchless and just like a plumber having that dug up.
Yeah, a traditional way.
Yeah.
So trenchless is basically there's a few different methods of it. There's one method is pipe bursting. That's kind of what everybody knows it for.
Uh-huh.
You dig 2 holes. You have an entry hole and an exit hole, and you are pulling a new pipe through an old pipe, one that is deteriorated or collapsed or whatnot. That's one method. The other method is what's known as cure-in-place pipe. It's a liner. So essentially, like you said, a colonoscopy, this would be like a stent.
Okay.
So it's going to go in there and form to the integrity of whatever's there. It's important that when people do or hear about cure-in-place pipe, always make sure whatever product they get for that, it's an approved product, because anybody can put in a liner that has no name on it. And if in 5 years that thing falls off, you don't even know what it is. It's going to look like a sock that fell off in the pipe. Yeah, so that's
it won't look too good.
It won't look too good, and that's important because if, for example, let's say cast iron was rotted through, the living room. Well, you don't want to rip up the living room with all hardwood floors and whatnot. You could essentially blow a liner in from outside through the sewer, eliminating the rotted pipe, and that's why it, came into effect or came to the market, because of slab floors.
Right. And that totally makes sense, because this particular home, they had a third person come out, and he was going to have a landscaper dig the pipe out, basically, or dig the hole.
Right.
They would put the new pipe in, landscapers come back in and, do that. And I kind of look at that like a doctor, leaving a scar, right?
Exactly what it is.
I mean, you could do a minimal thing for the, arthroscopic surgery or whatever.
Exactly.
Or you can just take a knife and just cut somebody wide open, right? And then you're going to have this crazy scar. So, I mean, it makes total sense to me. So how much do you guys normally charge for your inspection, just the inspection portion?
In the Sacramento region, it's $190 through a visible two-way cleanout. If there isn't a visible two-way cleanout, it's $240.
$240, okay. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. And then can you give me what the average cost is for a pipe replacement or trenchless, or is it just depend on the home and the location and how close they are to the street and all that? Or
so the biggest things, and the reason why it's hard to get an exact cost, is what is in our way. Is there concrete in the way, and how deep is it? Because in the city of Sacramento, the homeowner owns the line all the way to the main, which can be very tricky, because if the main's in the alley, it can run through multiple backyards, but it's still the homeowner's line.
Right.
Even though it's off their property line, it's still the homeowner's.
Interesting.
Yes, it becomes pretty tricky at times. Whereas in the county of Sacramento, the county owns it at the utility easement. So basically, once it hits your property line, it's their responsibility, and they dig it and they fix it if there's a problem in the street or a public right of way.
That's why, at break, you were talking about the person in the Arden Park area who had a couple of bids come out, and then you were the third one, and you said, hey, it's not your problem, it's the county's problem, and you have to call the county. The county can come out and fix it. It's not going to cost you anything, right?
Correct.
I mean, you just saved that guy
a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of money. So,
and we always encourage too to always call whatever municipality you have or wherever your house is located, because you're paying for a utility bill anyways.
Right.
Try them first if you have an issue, because it might be their problem, which will save you money.
Yeah, absolutely. I've worked with a lot of plumbers and I've worked with a lot of trenchless companies, and it's sort of like real estate agents. There's some great ones out there, we know, and there's some that aren't so good, right? I would put Brent and the company he works for, Affordable Trenchless and Pipe Lining, in the absolute best category. They are the best at what they do, and this gentleman is a very, very honest guy. And if you want to get that inspection done, they are relatively affordable, I think, especially for knowing that they're experts. They do this every week. They're doing, you're so busy, I could barely get you on the radio show. So
yeah, we stay very busy doing a lot of them. And, you can find a lot of information on our website too. We'll help people out, which is the letter Y, DIG, as in digahole.com.
Yeah, so it's Y, the letter Y, DIG, so Y dig, but with the letter Y, okay, .com. And then if you want to get a hold of them at their office, it's 916-488-1215. That's 488-1215. And any final thoughts for us?
Do some inspections. Keep going forward. Make sure you know what you're buying. Do your homework and enjoy the house.
Yeah, in a lot of cases, you definitely want to add a sewer inspection to the inspections that you're going to do, because especially if the home is older and if it's in an older area. If it's a brand new home, probably not going to need that,
Usually the builder warranties it.
Yeah, exactly. Point. But, if you're in, Carmichael, Sacramento, Midtown, Woodland,
Davis,
West Sacramento, Davis, there's a very good chance on those areas that you may have that Orangeburg piping. So it's imperative that you have it done just to make sure that you're okay. So once again, Brent's website for the company, Affordable Trenchless and Pipe Lining, is ydig.com. That's the letter Y, dig.com. And you can also give them a call at 916-488-1215. And thanks for being on the Radio Realtors today.
Thanks for having me.
And unfortunately, folks, that's all the time we have for the show.
Make it a great week, everyone.
If you've been thinking about buying a home, you know it's a tough housing market right now, but I've got wonderful news. There's a new home community that's a reasonable drive from Lincoln, Roseville, North Natomas, and downtown Sacramento, offering brand new 3-bedroom and 4-bedroom homes with solar in the low $400,000 range. And they even have 5-bedroom homes in the low $500,000 range. These homes are beautiful with granite countertops, LVP flooring, spacious floor plans, and great amenities nearby. Find out more, call the Radio Realtors with eXp Realty right now at 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO. Schedule a private tour today, and if you decide to buy with us, we will save you thousands of dollars with special incentives. All buyers are welcome, FHA, VA, first-time buyers, and investors too, and you can reserve your home with just a small deposit. Call us now at 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO. DRE number 0140627. Hey, it's Robert Lewis with eXp Realty, co-host of the Radio Realtors. Did you know that it only takes a minute to steal your home? And Northern California is a hotbed for home title theft. You're especially vulnerable if you own your home free and clear, or you have thousands of dollars in equity. But you may be asking, how does this crime even occur? Well, it happens when a scammer steals your identity and the title to your home. And then they either take out loans on your home or they actually sell your property right out from under you. And another problem is most title lock companies only notify you after the crime has happened. This doesn't do you any good at all. That's why I only recommend Equity Protect. Equity Protect scans, monitors, alerts, and completely locks down your home's title and hard-earned equity. And their USA-based experts protect you 24/7, 365 days a year for just pennies a day. Get your free risk assessment today. Go to equityprotect.com. That's equityprotect.com.